Collective, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist. Okay, so we're going to do things a little bit differently. This video is going to be about a particular movie, and we're going to get channel messages from that. I'll start with a little story time for my personal experience and what led me to choose this film, and what energy I've been getting the channel messages from. So once upon a time, there was a little girl who thought it would be a fun dream to live in a van. All right. Now, financially, I'm in a very tough spot, okay? I have been living paycheck to paycheck. I live off of my VA compensation. But I did get myself through the dark night of the soul back in 2021, and then the sequential years that followed that. It was a ebb and flow of me getting into debt and then slowly crawling myself out of it. So I'm getting to a place where I'm trying to get settled, but simultaneously, in order to do that, I've had to uproot myself, get on this path, which includes me living in a van, which means that I am never settled, which means that I am constantly in a half in, half out seesaw lifestyle. Okay, I'm a Taurus. That is very unsettling to me. So payday's coming up in a couple days, but for those of you who have ever lived paycheck to paycheck, for those of you who have ever had to kind of like shimmy around some finances, the end of the month is a little bit tight. All right. Now, I received a blessing which got me out of the hole and gave me a little bit to get some actual healthy food, because when you live in a van, or when you are limited on funds, or when you are feeling unstable, you go to things that are not that good for you. So all of those factors have contributed to me eating out of packages, not having a kitchen to prepare healthy meals in, and not having the funds to buy the best things, right? I've just been kind of like not doing the best for my body, which means my mind is not that settled, which means that my spirit is unsettled. So body, mind, and spirit, that is part of the Holy Trinity. That is a form of Holy Trinity that must be nurtured and listened to and catered to in order to get some balance in all areas, right? So I received that blessing, got some good food, salad, tofu, some kombucha, some healthy stuff. But my gas tank it's technically on E now. My van, Aries, because Aries are kind of bougie. She lets me know, or she flags it as on E when I'm at a quarter tank. Now, if you've ever lived paycheck to paycheck, the quarter tank is like, all right, I got some time. But every time you turn the van on, it's like, you're on E. And it's like, I don't need that reminder that I know, thanks, but no thanks. So anyway, I was like, okay, got a couple days getting paid. I'll get everything rebalanced. I just, expended all of my funds to get where I am. So I came from Arizona. And now I'm back on the East Coast. So I traveled quite a distance. And if y'all know about gas prices, yeah. So it was like a last ditch effort, winging a prayer. I had to come over here to work on some stuff that's going to inevitably build me on the career, the finance, the stability side of things, which will inevitably help with my balance, which of course is going to help with the love story. It's going to help with my twin flame connection, right? And bringing that into union. So it's all connected, right? So I got a $5 bill a while back, and it had pink writing on it in Spanish. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like serendipity. And it came to me at a time where I was looking for a message. And so I folded it up, put it in one of my wallets, and left it there. Well, because I'm kind of coming to the end of things, and I was like, oh, I just, you know what? I don't want to see that. You're on E, like you're nearing the end. Every single time I turned the van on, I went ahead and I was like, I'm going to go to the gas station. I'm going to put that $5 into my tank so that way I get over that. And it's not on E. So that way I can like feel like I can breathe a little bit, because it's like that impending doom thing. So I go, and the girl's like, oh, I didn't think that I had anything. Like, I didn't remember that I had put that away, that $5 bill. So I was like, just kind of like, maybe I'll just find something. I was just looking through my stuff, and I'm kind of like, just occupying myself, going through things. And I pulled it out of the wallet, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'll go put that in there. That will put me over the light, and just kind of give me a little bit of like a breather, so I don't feel that looming pressure as I'm trying to work on these other things and build myself in other ways. So I go there, and the girl's like, let me run this through. I think this is fake. And I'm like, bitch, come on. Like, it's a $5 bill. And she's like, do you have any other money? And I'm like, no. Like, thanks for bringing that up. And I'm like, no. So anyway, I look at it. It's got the strip in it. Like, good on her for like, whatever. But I felt like she was just being, and the devil has been blocking my creativity, or trying to block my creativity, which sometimes it's humorous. It's like, good try, devil. But in this, I was just like, really? Come on. Like, really? And 5 is the number of lack, right? 5 is the number of lack. So, the pink writing, it says the eternal love of the Lord's, or like the eternal love of God, right? Basically agape love. And then it says there's 2 crosses and consuela. Now, I will obviously put the photo of this $5 bill as the thumbnail of this, so you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see the image. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go over here. I'm just gonna go somewhere else, and I'll buy something. And so I went to a Dollar Tree, and I was like, I'll just get the change. And I had some change, so I was like, I'll do that and get enough for like at least 1 gallon of gas, just to get me over that thing. So I go over there. The Dollar Tree was closed. Their hours were wrong. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, come on. I'm just trying, like, this isn't that serious here. Can we just like get above this? But then I thought about that put me into the energetic lack mindset, right? And this 5 is a reminder that you are unconditionally loved. That so it's a cross. It's a double cross, and consuela. All right, so crosses could be important to you, but crosses represent faith, right? And whatever you believe in, but crosses, and then consuela. Consuela means consolation, console, comfort. So it's like, take comfort in the moments of lack, all right? Take comfort in the moments of lack, and remember that you are unconditionally loved. You are eternally loved, right? And in that state of agape love, in that state of abundance, which is like the 10 of cups. So for those of you that are here, you're probably in a place of 5 of cups, all right? Which is like feeling left out in the cold, feeling like, where's my person? Where's my love? What am I doing wrong? Like, I'm trying. And you may see other people around you that are like, I don't care about love, and they're like building their career, and you're like, well, I don't feel like I can even build my finances or my stability because of this lack mentality in the love sphere. So that is a reminder that like everything is about divine timing, right? We have to trust that divine frequency of love. So even in those moments of lack, you have to express gratitude. You are called. You don't have to do anything, but you are called to express gratitude and to say, you know what? I am rich, right? I am rich with my $5 bill. I am rich, even if you're in the negative. financially, right? You cannot take money with you. You cannot take debt with you. So it's all irrelevant. It's all relative, and it's all irrelevant at the same time, because really a state of grace is being here, being now, and feeling that abundance. You are abundant. You are joy. You are love. You are all of the things that you are looking outside of yourself for. And once you have that moment where you're like, okay, I have everything I need, right? I have tea here. It's in, and racetrack is also kind of like a representation. Like, you might try to be on the fast track. You might have some fire placements that are really challenging you in this place because you just want to go, go, go. You could have some cardinal placements that are like, I just want to go, go, go. Well, calm down, calm your titties. That's what I always tell the dogs, calm your titties. It's not a racetrack, all right? It's a marathon. And slow and steady may not win the race. People say it wins the race. Maybe it doesn't win the race, but it lasts the marathon, right? When you take a moment and you just breathe, okay? So the white rabbit is also something that is a major factor in my life. I see the white rabbit signs, synchronicities all the time. So maybe somebody's the year of the rabbit, maybe the white rabbit, maybe somebody's name is Alice, or maybe Alice in Wonderland is important to you, okay? But it was like, I could have been like, well, I don't have money to get my favorite coffee or whatever. But I had this cup, and I had some tea, and it's apple spice chai. And it's like, that's delicious. It's very delicious. And I had a, dry oat milk creamer packet. It's like, this is delicious. I had my stevia drops. Like, it's a delicious cup of something. It may not be the thing that I thought I needed, but really, it's more than enough. And it's something different too. So you may need to branch out and explore something different, because you could be in a cycle of lack because you're in a cycle of whatever you're doing for work, whatever creative endeavor. Like, there is some sort of mindset blockage that's stopping you from jumping into something else. And if every single time the devil tries to hit you, right, instead, like, imagine yourself in a boxing ring with the devil, okay? And it's like, ooh, sometimes if they clip you, it's like, ooh, that was a good shot. My defenses were down. Okay. You're learning from each hit. Okay. This is a moment of lack. I'm in a moment of lack. My defenses are down. That's when the devil comes in and takes a hit. All right. In all the movies where there's possession involved, it's always, if you look at the family, if you look at the individual, they're in some sort of despair, they're in some sort of lack, loss, grief, they're in a low place. Their immune system, their spiritual immune system is lowered. That's when the devil comes in. Okay. And you might be like, Nikki, how are you in a moment of financial lack with your nails looking so fancy? I got these at the dollar store a long time ago, and they've been in the back, and I was like, I don't want to put my energy into that. So maybe this is a moment to, like, treat yourself in a way, like maybe you'd love to go to a spa, but you don't have the finances for the spa, all right? So you can do some stretches. You can sit outside. You can do a van life facial, right? Like, you can go to a Dollar Tree, maybe the Dollar Tree, and it's like, money doesn't grow on trees. Well, not with that attitude, but the true wealth is in the trees. So getting back to nature and your nature, do something that makes you feel good. 1414 on the clock there, because that's 5-5, right? So, which is like the 4 of Wands, it's 11-11, and then we have the 1, the 4. 4 is like a life path 4, it's the elementalist. It's using the elements around you, using what you have. A lot of people, they'll open their closet, and this is probably particularly for females, you'll open your closet and go, I have nothing to wear. And you've got a full closet of clothes. All right, so this is also like, using your resources, using what you have. You have more than enough. You are abundant. So working on your affirmations and reminding yourself, write it out. Write it out until you start to believe it. I am abundant, I am abundant, I am abundant, right? And you may go, okay, like, oh, I wasted money on this or that. You might be looking at things around you and be like, well, I don't have money to pay my bills, or I don't have money to pay my, pay for the spa day or whatever. And you might be kicking yourself. That's not a state of grace, right? You need to forgive yourself and give yourself grace. Look around you and go, well, you know what? I did spend, I don't know, $3 on that plant. Okay? And I'm looking at an empty container because there was a freeze where I came from. Like when I came here, there was a freeze and my little succulent melted, basically. It just froze to death. Which is also that 5 of Cups being left out in the cold and the 5 of Pentacles being left out in the cold. That lack mentality. But on that little plant, I'll just show you guys. On this dead little plant, it is gold. Okay, there's gold here. And I've got this little thing that says, fuck you. Okay? That is a message to say that to whatever devil energy is giving you this lack mindset, because you cannot create from a lack mindset. You will only create more lack. So look at that and go, oh, well, I wasted that money on that. And if I had saved this, or if I had done, if I shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? I purchased that. I mean, I purchased that a long time ago. I don't know where I got it from, actually. Some thrift shop somewhere, I'm sure. And then I got that at like a bingo night. That middle finger went on the back of the thing. Anywho, there's soil in there. It is gold. All right. Kintsugi is also it's a Japanese practice of taking broken pottery, broken dishes, and then like welding them, gluing them, sealing them back together with a gold laid. I don't know if it's not actual gold. It's some sort of adhesive, right? So it's putting yourself back together and remembering that all that brokenness, all of that lack is what is actually making you stronger. And it makes you so much more beautiful. Like if you look at a piece of Kintsugi art, it's very interesting, right? Versus just like a plain piece of pottery. Okay. So you're not plain, you are not conventional, and you're, the people that are out there like working on their bag and their money, and they're like getting up there and they may look successful, and they may be like invested in stocks and stuff like that, or whatever. They've got a lot of money. They're not in the same realm as you. That does not mean one of you is better than the other. That just means they are not concerned. They are not here to get into this twin flame connection. And the twin flame journey is very challenging, okay? It's not just, oh, there's a runner, you come back together and you're together and it's supposed to be toxic and it's supposed to be trying. No, that's not it, okay? You are here for a huge purpose, a major purpose, okay? And it is very important that you remember your journey is not supposed to be easy. Easy is the devil's way out of things, right? When people are in that challenge state, the devil comes in and says, hey, I've got an offer for you. I've got an offer that I'll make you an offer you can't refuse, right? And then you sell your soul. So a lot of those people, they've made deals with the devil in one way or another. They have fallen out of alignment. So, people of faith are always challenged more, not by God. God does not test you. God does not challenge you, okay? We, as individuals, our ego is challenged because the devil is trying to lure you away from this divine path and this divine union, because it's going to be major. It's going to be for the divine alchemy and uprising of the collective. So just remember that. Now let's get into the movie. All right, we're at 1910. 1910. Maybe that's like a year historically. I don't know. I failed history. So I don't know. Maybe the year 1910 is important here. So this time I took notes because I'm just going to focus on one film. I'm not going to branch off on other films. Oh, shit. And see, I was just talking about how delicious this is, and it went ahead and tried to spill. It spilled a little bit. But drink up. I'll put you over there. And see, when you get into that state of grace, when the devil tries to interfere, you're just like, really? That's the best you got? You gonna spill my tea? Ooh, big move, devil. See the magician here. You're an alchemist. Like, come on. The devil can't phase you. Okay, see, I just wanted to go into another movie, but I won't. So David Gray is the artist that sings January Rain, and also sings This Year's Love. So something about Gray, David Gray, that could be a name that's important. I did not look up David Gray's sign, but the music in Serendipity, like if you listen to the soundtrack, it may really speak to you. So, of course, and I am putting in the description that there are spoilers, okay? There are spoilers. I'm going to spoil the hell out of Serendipity. So if you've never seen it, go watch it, because I'm going to talk about it all the way to the end. So we've got Kate Beckinsale. She plays Sarah. She is a Leo. And then we've got John Cusack, who plays Jonathan, who is a Cancer. All right. And then they are with Bridget. Her name is like Bridget Monahan, I think. I did not write down their last names because I know Kate Beckinsale and John. And then I know John Corbett. So Bridget plays Hallie, which is John's character. John the character's fiance. And she's a Taurus. And John Corbett is Sarah, Kate Beckinsale's character's lover, fiance, named Lars, which is a Taurus as well. Okay, so those signs could be important here. And then Kate and John, these are our main characters. These are our twin flames. These are our lovers, okay? Gemini energy. They have these, I'm going to call their like friends, their spirit team, all right? Kate has Molly Shannon, who is a Virgo, and her character's name is Eve, right? So biblical names here could be important. And then John's character has Jeremy Piven, and his, yeah, see, I want to branch off into other things. Pivot, if you know, you know, but these are friends, okay? These could be friends, these could be your spirit team, these could be ancestors, right? Or they could just represent an energy that influences you. So the feminine could be influenced by Virgo energy here, all right? And Jeremy Piven, his character's name is Dean, and he is a Leo. All right, so Leo, Cancer, Leo, Taurus, Virgo. So these are kind of the signs that might be important. These could be around you. These could be playing some sort of role in this connection. All right. So we're going to read for the feminine. All right, so flip it or reverse it, right? You could be a Virgo, but we're talking about Kate Beckinsale's character, Sarah, who is a Leo. All right, the Devil in the Chariot. Something is blocking the heart space in the feminine. It's blocking the movement of the feminine. Someone is guarded. The Chariot in this deck is very armored up. Okay, so we've got Taurus energy here with the Hierophant. That's a lot. Six of Swords, Damsel in Distress. Eight of Pentacles, somebody's working on something. High Priestess, that's been burned in the past. So yeah, someone is blocking their heart space. She's blocked, right? And it feels like you were maybe burned by faith somehow. That could have been in childhood, or that could have been like you thought you were aligned, you thought you were doing everything, and then you met a karmic twin, right? Or you met some karmic shadow version of yourself through another one. Through the work that you were doing, you could have lost a job that you thought you were like pursuing, that was going to be part of your path, and you're like, I'm going to meet my person in work. You might meet your person in work, or you may work together, some sort of collaborative endeavor, and maybe you always knew that you would meet your person in work, and you were doing something. You may have tried to launch a business, and then maybe like COVID hit and knocked you on your ass, right? We've got the Queen of Pentacles, the Emperor, Queen of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, Page of Cups. All right, so I'm going to put those back because that's a lot, but those are the cards that came out. If they're meant to come out again, I'm going to clear the fear because the devil is influencing this. Queen of Swords. Yeah, we've got a pre-Empress here. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Swords coming out. And the Emperor. So that means there's an Emperor that's waiting for a feminine to rise up. And this feminine, this is a Queen of Swords. This is someone who sets boundaries. Something in the bloodline, probably on the feminine side, the maternal side, is here influencing this. Like, because you had to cut something out. You've had to cut out a cycle. You may have had to cut out actual people. All right? It's like a tumor. It doesn't matter. It's part of your body. It's part of your makeup. All right. Someone could have gotten like a mastectomy done, or someone could have had it could be a cancer survivor here. But it's like this toxicity, this family member, this cycle tied into this family member on the maternal side, on the feminine side, this fracture in the feminine psyche is blocking you. It's like a tumor. It's not a tumor. Okay. Sticking to this serendipity, okay? This is going to be a challenge for me, but I'm trying this because I want to, I want to just focus this energy. We have the Knight of Pentacles. She's got a tear in her eye, and she's got a veil over her eye. So someone could have lost a mother, or, if you energetically have to, put someone to rest. Put someone in the past, it feels like a death. Someone could have lost, this could be a best friend, this could be a sister, all right? This could be a past version of yourself, but it is on the feminine side. It's on the maternal side, and it's influenced by that maternal energy. And it's making you blocked off. The Queen of Swords is not someone who needs two swords. She just needs one. She just needs to set a boundary. So this is someone who doesn't trust their own boundaries. They don't trust themselves. It's like they're not trusting their discernment, because the Queen of Swords and swords represent discernment. Mutable energy as well. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So that is kind of Virgo energy. Someone could be influenced by that Virgo energy. And with Kate's character, Sarah, any of these names or signs could play a role. Okay, but Kate's character, Sarah, Leo, her spirit team, her friend, the feminine that's influencing her, is a Virgo. Now, in the movie, Molly Shannon's character, Eve, she's not on the same path. Even though she runs this hippy dippy store, and she's selling love candles and love spells and stuff, she's a pain in my ass. She gets the massages. Like, she's living this very spiritually effaced love. Something about like the side of a mountain, or like it's effaced, which also represents like a false face, a mask, a veil. There is a veil here. You could have been surrounded by, this feminine could have been surrounded by like superficial people. Even her sister is like out to get her. And not in like a malicious way. She wants to use her house while she's away or whatever. And that is part of the confusion when John actually goes to find Sarah, when he's trying to find her. All right. But these are the things that annoy me about this movie that make it not aligned with divine energy, which is why they don't get together until they both leave their partners by choice, right? Because you cannot come into connection with that third party. If you do with your twin flame, it will not be divine. That's when you'll have that runner-chaser dynamic, because you're actually entertaining and giving energy to their shadow self. All right. Molly Shannon's character, Eve, even though she looks like she's all spiritual and she looks like she's got it together when it comes to like having it figured out, she does not believe in love. She doesn't believe in love in a real way. She even has this false Prada, like this fake Prada wallet, which is where the $5 bill comes out of, with the pink writing on it. And you'll see in the thumbnail, the pink writing on the $5 bill that I was referencing earlier. Some kind of hoot and holler. So that could be confirmation there. But she, it's like they switch wallets or whatever. So it's like there's some sort of influence. But again, the devil's detours always lead us back to the divine. They are all opportunities to rise up in our faith, to align with our truth. Let me pull one more for the feminine here. Justice. And see, this is like karmic cycle is saying like open. You have to open the chest. You have to open the heart space. You cannot, if you are approaching love with fear or lack, you will always be blocked. You're blocking yourself from receiving this love because you've got these swords. The high priestess, a very divine, spiritually attuned, third eye, Piscean energy, feminine, who is connected with the moon, who is connected with 5D alchemy, was blocking her heart chakra. The Queen of Swords, someone who's very discerning, someone who sets boundaries, who speaks truth. Also, blocking her heart chakra. Here, it's like this more Libra energy is, and see these fish, these represent the Pisces, that cycle of like indecision. That's the keys. Communication is also the key, and swords represent communication, verbal communication. So there could be something else. And see this arm here? This is like a large arm. It doesn't really match the rest of the character here. So it's like some sort of, it feels like a masculine energy that's helping end this cycle. But this Justice looks like a Queen of Swords again, with the swords open, going, you know what? I actually see my other face here. There's some sort of two-faced energy. And that can be someone who has malicious intent, or that could just be someone who is self-deceptive. They're denying themselves. They're playing themselves a fool. But not the type of fool that takes a leap of faith into love. So yeah, she's influenced by that, and she almost leaves and goes home. You know, both of their friends in the movie do let them know, like, the person you're with is like great and everything, but I can tell as your friend you don't want to be with them. All right, we're gonna move into the masculine, and I love his side. We see him more, like we really see John's struggle more than we see Sarah's struggle, I think. Because Sarah is the one, as the feminine in the very beginning, she says, you know, like, no, this isn't right. Like, it's not the right time. We're both with other people. But she also wants this, right? So what's holding them back, really? Why don't they just call their person right when they meet, when they have this amazing first night together, and say, I don't want to be with you anymore? What part of them doesn't know that this is right? This is their person. How do you not know, right? Because there are things that you have to learn about yourself. And you also have to get whatever ideal partner. So this person is probably not what you expected. It's not maybe what you envisioned. But they are going to, they're your person. So it's like, maybe you have to go through, you know, being with somebody who looks like, acts like, has everything on paper that seems like what you want out of a partner, so that you can actually come into connection. And you have to experience that and then release it. So sometimes you have to, you know, take the scenic route and learn the hard way. The Tower. Queen of Wands. This masculine, all right, John Cusack's character, his name is John, he's a Cancer, all right? This masculine is like, I'm coming for your heart. But they want to alchemize. See this black cat? Someone could have a black cat. This is scorpionic energy as well, all right? Because black cats that's always Scorpio to me. But this is the Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is the witchy feminine. This masculine sees this feminine clearer than they see themselves. Like in the beginning, John is like, how do you just have the most amazing night and then not do it? Oh, and I forget, I think it's floor 23. Maybe the number 23 is important. I believe that's the floor that they choose. And they both choose the same floor, but there are things that are in his energy that are slowing him down. She gets up on the floor, and that is like this weeble wobble seesaw energy of the twin flame connection. It's like when one of you feels like you're ready, the other one might not be ready. You have to wait for your person. There are delays, and it's in that scene with the elevator scene going up. It's like elevating, ascending, aligning. She's waiting. she's up there waiting, and who shows up on his elevator? A little boy dressed as the devil. He's like, tss, and then he starts crying, and he's like, the people that are there, they're all rooting for him. And his best friend, all right, Dean, played by Jeremy Piven, a Leo, his spirit team, however that represents itself, because it will represent itself in your true friends, it'll represent itself in the 5D and in the 3D, right? They're supporting you. They want you to they're like, where is she? Is she here? They're with you. His friend, even though he knows that he's about to get married, and he likes Hallie, he thinks she's amazing. He gives this toast where she's like the perfect person for him. And he loves that, but he's like rooting for him. He's like, you're the shit, man. He loves this because he's essentially a romantic. So there's something about remembering the romance where Jonathan is not remembering the romance. All of the most romantic movies, it's about that longing, it's about distance, it's about taking your time, it's Pride and, I don't want to reference another movie, but, it's like Pride and Prejudice, those old world movies where it's like, it's that longing, it's that distance, it's writing letters to each other, it takes time. Love takes time. And in Serendipity, John, he wants to rush into it. He's like, let's do this, even though he's connected to something else. And now we're going to talk about what pisses me off about Jonathan, okay? Mr. Cancer John. He is essentially a romantic, but, because he's looking for this book, Time of Cholera. Is it Love and War in the Time of Cholera or whatever? Even that, like, I haven't read the book. Maybe you have read that book, but it's like those old stories where there's like love and war, and that's romance. That's like, and you can't have love without war. You can have peace without war. You can't have love without, you can't have God without the devil. You can't have, love without hate. Hate is not apathy. It's not, the antithesis. It's the duality of the emotion, of the connection. It's that frustration when your person is not, and when the world and people around you are not, they're not doing the best. It's like they could be doing so much better. They could really be aligned with their highest self, and they're not. And that's what your person will call you to do. That's why it's a tower. That's why it's so challenging. That's why it takes you a while to get there, because it's supposed to challenge you to get to your highest self. It's an unblocking process. And what happens when you unblock something? You have to break through it. It's painful. It's arduous. It's not supposed to be easy. If it were easy, everybody would do it. Okay? Everybody would be in a twin flame connection. Right? We wouldn't be here worrying about this shit. They see this feminine as being indecisive. Again, the swords crossed over the heart, blindfolded. Not listening to their intuition, not looking through their third eye, not looking through their two eyes either. And that could be because this feminine could be very stuck on how things were supposed to look. But yeah, he's, John's character, he's not doing the best job here. He's not doing the best good job. That's what I say to my dogs. You're the best good job. He's not doing the best good job, that John. And Cancer is represented by the dog, so dogs could be important here because Cancers and the dog they represent loyalty. Like this fierce loyalty. He's being disloyal. Not just to himself and not just to Sarah, but to Hallie. Like, we forget about these other characters. Lars, even though he's kind of whatever, you could be a Taurus here, because Taurus is, I feel like those two are actually more aligned with a truth. They are more aligned with, they're authentic. Like Lars, even though he's into his flute music or whatever, he's kind of like, ooh, maybe someone's a musician here. And, the Tauruses both get the shaft here. They're both with people who are half in, half out. They're fully in. They're fully in it. And like Hallie gets him the book that he's been looking for, but he's been looking for this book. So there could be something about coming into connection with a soulmate who helps facilitate your growth, who helps you to unblock your heart chakra. And anytime you are sent people, whether they are karma, it's all karma. Karma's good and bad. I mean, that's all relative anyway. What does good and bad mean anyhow? But they could be like a soulmate, or they could be like a false twin. So even if it's a toxic relationship, it's an opportunity to elevate. If it's a person who shows you what kindness really is, what unconditional love is, it's like, I want you to be happy. You know, in that movie, Hallie, she tells John, you know, I want my guy back. Wherever you've been, I want you back. Like, she knows she's a woman. She's a feminine. She's intuitive. She's a witchy, intuitive lady. She can tell, like, he's not fully there. And yet it's like a self-sacrifice. And you may have felt like that. You were always the person, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, you know, always the groomsman, never the groom. You may have always felt like that peripheral character, like you were the side character in your own story, where, you know, people would get with you. You would be the one who mirrored things. You would challenge them. You would help them grow. And then they would go off to someone else, right? But John and Sarah are actually, I love the movie. It's beautiful. I cry every time. But it's like, they are not operating out of their highest good. Okay? And I've always felt for the other two characters. I knew that John Corbett was a Taurus. I did not know that Bridget, I think Monahan or something. It's Bridget M, I believe. But I didn't know that she was a Taurus as well. So it's just ironic because I'm a Taurus and I can resonate with that. I can relate to that for sure. Where it's like, well, damn, I built them up so that they could go off to somebody else. But that's fine. Sometimes you are that person. And through that process, yes, it's very easy to slip into a place of feeling like a martyr, feeling that lack mentality, feeling broken down more. But remember that you have that capacity to love. You have the capacity to love someone unconditionally enough that you're like, you know what? I want you to be loved and happy and have everything that you want, even if it's not with me. Even if you treated me poorly, even if you were deceptive and you were this whole motherfucking time out looking for a book so that you could actually find this other woman. You know, you're half in, half out. And with Lars, she's settling for him. Not because he's a bad guy or because he's a lower quality person, but because it's not what she truly wants. So it's kind of like, why don't these people just say what they want and be honest with themselves? And sometimes we are mirrors for other people to have that revelation. We are towers for other people to rise up. Because we have the Queen of Pentacles here with the Knight of Pentacles. And see, this is the Queen of Pentacles waiting, knowing her value. And it's funny because the masculine views the feminine as being this powerful, indecisive individual, right? Like, this feminine's not making a choice. They don't see this decision. And that's how the masculine's viewing the feminine. And the feminine's here like, I'm actually open-hearted. All right? And then we've got a Queen of Swords who sets a boundary, and then if you cross that boundary, she's the Queen of Wands, right? The Queen of Wands is where alchemy happens. And the masculine seeing this feminine as being very creative in alchemy and alchemizing, an alchemist. They see them as magical. They're very witchy. But then here, it's like the feminine doesn't see themselves that way. So that's blocking them. Again, this could have taken you like 3 different times where you almost came together, but it was the wrong time. And then here we have this feminine waiting again, knowing their value. This is how the masculine sees you. And the feminine sees the masculine as being like very slow. Like, where are you? There's this waiting. So we're going to clarify and see what's really going on here. But one of my favorite parts, because he's a good ass friend, is when Jeremy Piven, Dean, the Leo, John's friend, John Cusack's friend, he says, maybe you're laying here because you don't want to be standing somewhere else. When he sees who he thinks is Sarah making love to some other person, but it's her sister, house sitting for her. He's like, maybe you're laying here because you don't want to be standing somewhere else. Meaning, if you've been half in and half out, first of all, in that statement, what he's saying is you need to release Hallie because she doesn't deserve this. And number two, like, more essentially, like, if your heart's not in it. So release yourself and release her. So there could be third-party situations. Queen of Cups at the bottom here. Okay. Six of Wands. This is Leo energy. We have that Page of Pentacles. But there could be an age difference. This could be a younger masculine, but they are finally presenting with the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. They're finally presenting. They don't have armor here. So even though they're presenting like this is new, maybe they feel like they don't have financial success to where they want to have it. That's because with twin flame connections, a lot of times your path, your purpose by coming into union is to facilitate financial growth and help others facilitate financial growth and stability. You could have strong earth or fixed placements, and so that's part of your chart, that's part of your path. So that's why you're challenged in it, because you're not supposed to be independently wealthy or individually wealthy. You're supposed to be wealthy together, right? And the only way that you can come into this frequency of wealth is by having grace and feeling abundant and wealthy in the moment, in those moments of lack especially. So that's presenting in offer. That could be a gift as well. This masculine could be giving, I was about to say sending them a gift. So there could be a distance between you two where they have to mail it to you, or like that's why it's taking them a while with this Page of Pentacles, which kind of looks like the Chariot, like a very slow chariot. They may be having to move to where you are. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles as well. So that just confirms that this is a gift. This is a divine gift of abundance, and it's healing with the star here, but it's coming out of the clouds. It is like the universe throwing you a bone because you have felt kind of like boneless, which to me gives the image of someone who's just like not able to stand up. They're just sort of like, well, like a lump. They don't have any like structure. They don't feel like they can stand up. Which goes back to that, maybe you're laying here. You know, you could be going through phases of depression where it's like hard for you to get up, right? It's hard for you to get out of bed. You're just like, why? What's the point? I don't have the money. I don't have the love. I don't have purpose. I don't enjoy my job. You know, like, and that could be very heavily influenced by the things that you're putting into your body, the things you're watching, the things that you're listening to, the words that you're speaking, the thoughts that you're having. Like, pay attention to all of these things because they are influencing your overall health and well-being. And Pentacles, money is just a physical representation of stability, health, and wealth, right? So if you want to invest in a person, invest in yourself. And the Six of Wands, this is like an alchemist. This is Leo energy coming in. Something around Christmas time could be important. The month of December. All right, Sagittarius and Capricorn energy with the red here, that's root chakra. It's like somebody is coming in and the blockage has been removed. This is someone who feels recognition, self-recognition. All right, they recognize, and they're on a white horse. Six is the number of agape love as well. It goes back to the beginning message. Also, I believe the number on the $5 bill is 555. I think it starts with 555. So 555 is like three cycles of lack, but it actually equals 15, which is 6. All right, so these repeated numbers of lack, these repeated cycles of lack equal abundance. They equal agape love. They equal unconditional eternal love of the Lord's. All right. Ooh, the star. Yes. Heal yourself. Heal yourself from the inside out. And that's another thing about the T here, which is something about this channel, is like it's the vegan tarotist, where the tea is silent, right? Because some people want to spill the tea. There's no gossip here, right? Gossip is such a low vibrational energy anyway. So this isn't like we're spilling the tea. The tea is silent. So there's something about silence, healing. This is like Four of Swords. This is Virgo and Aquarius energy. This is that balancing yourself. If you want to alchemize the Four of Wands, you need to come into the Four of Swords. All right? If you want to, and that's also the Four of Cups, the Four of Pentacles. That is holding on to what you have, not hoarding it and not being non-reciprocal, right? If you have $1, give $1, right? Put it out there. Like if you don't have what you think is enough to give what you have. But you have to know what you have first. You have to sit with yourself and go, you know what? This is like Marie Kondo, right? This sparks joy. You have everything you need. So you could be cleaning up your space. You could be feeling physically blocked because everywhere you look, you're just like, like for instance, that little gold pot, okay? It's sitting there empty. And every time I look at it, it represents lack. Okay? So I either need to get that thing out of here or I need to put a plant in it. I need to put something that's growing in there. I need to plant some roots. I've got seeds in here. Plant some seeds. Water that shit. Water what you have. That's where growth is. The grass is greener where you water it. The star is about pouring into yourself. Aquarius energy, like pouring into yourself. And that's over the maternal wounding of the Queen of Swords. This self-recognition. So if you have this lack mindset and it's influenced by your maternal line, that kind of sounds like material line as well, right? Like maybe you grew up in poverty. Maybe you had a mother that was like very emotionally withholding. So like self-love, this is the self-love card as well. Self-recognition. This is like honoring how amazing you are, how abundant, how much magic you are. You are magical. And that's the Queen of Wands as well, right? So this is magical. This gives me like magician energy because the magician was at the bottom and the star is here. And the star being in these pentacles, it's like, this is hitting the throat chakra here, which is the magician as well. Gemini, Virgo, and Taurus energy. It is alchemizing. Okay, mercurial energy. Check your Mercury placements. Here, the pentacles, the worth, the value system is healing. You need to heal your perspective of your value system. Okay, because in serendipity, what bothers me the most is like they're relationship hopping. They're literally in the same day getting with this person that they broke up with the other person. It's like they end this connection with a Taurus, and then they're like, they run to each other. And in a movie, yeah, it's beautiful. It's like, oh my gosh, it's Christmas time. The music is fucking perfect. Ooh, it's great. You want them to be together. We are rooting for them. But in real life, don't torment other people, and don't be half-ass in it and half in, half out. Spend some time alone. That's what the 4 represents. It's about solitude and isolation. What is the root word in both of those? Soul, the sun, okay? That healing energy, that abundant internal heart space energy. The sun and the moon are in the heart chakra. So you need to alchemize from that place of creativity, all right? The sun represents divine creation. The Holy Trinity, divine feminine, divine masculine, divine creation. All right, let's see. I'm going to pull from the Native American Tarot. I feel the need to drink some water, so maybe y'all need to drink water. Hydrate yourself. Yeah, with that tea, it's better for me than coffee, right? Do I like coffee? Yes. I love coffee. I've tried to transition over to tea so many times, but man, a rich cup of coffee, an oat milk latte, shut up. Cultivation, yes, cultivate with what you have. Justice, 11. This is your karmic cycle. This is divine timing. This is also balance, finding balance. Libran energy it really struggles with it, especially Libra females or Libra feminines, because Libra is cardinal Swords, cardinal air, which is fire and air. It's all masculine energy. So trying to get into a place of that restful Virgo, Aquarius, right? If you are a Libra, you have strong Libra placements that are challenging you right now. If you feel challenged by karmic cycles, you can move into Aquarius energy because that is also an air sign. But what is Aquarius? It is fixed, which is earth. So maybe you're like, I don't know how to get into the most feminine element. So you can kind of loophole into another element that correlates with what placements you have. So say you're a fire sign. So say you're like, let's say you're an Aries, okay? All right, that is the polarity sign for Libra, which is justice, and it's the Emperor, right? It's also the Fool, which is with Aquarius. So you can also loop into Aquarius energy. You're healing some Aquarius energy here, and Aquarius is healing. It is the star. It's also remembering what you wished for, because you wish upon a star. I'm not going to transition into another movie. We're going to keep it here. So if you're an Aries and you're struggling because you've got cardinal fire, double fire, and you're like, well, I need to get to earth energy, which is the most feminine of the elements. Fire is the most masculine. Maybe you have a Leo placement, right? Or maybe you have Leos around you. So you can inhabit, or maybe you have other fixed placements. You can move into a Capricorn energy, because the Emperor also is shared, it's Aries and Capricorn. So you can kind of get into another cardinal aspect, but then it's led by Earth, right? Or you can move into a Leo placement, which is fixed, which is also Earth. So it's like finding a way to loophole, and that's the magician. That's learning to alchemize from all the elements. And all the zodiac signs are just elements. All the placements, all the modalities, it's all just elements, okay? Union. You want to come into this union in the spiritualist, which is a 5 of Wands. Now it's funny because swords. 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords is, I thought these were pipes, which is the wands in this deck, but these are little hatchets, which are swords. Okay, so 5 of Swords is feeling very blocked. There could be some blocked communication with self, but see, it's like, remember that you have this spiritual team that's rooting for you. They've got your back. And in this place of 5 of perceived lack, because all lack is perceived, unless you're a child, right? You may have come from true lack. But as an adult, we're all adults here, right? Once you have autonomy, these places of lack are really where you alchemize from, okay? If you look at anybody who is famous, who is like living their dream, what they've always wanted to do, like Jewel is just is one person. I was gonna say a character. She's one person that I'm thinking of. You know, she was homeless. Jim Carrey. Something about diamonds, because it's Jewel and Carrey. I'm getting carrot. So diamonds, something about, it's like remembering that you are a diamond in the rough. It is a diamond in the rough. Why? Because that's how they are forged. They're forged out of roughness. They're out of tempering themselves. So temperance, Sagittarius energy, the crown chakra. The spiritualist downloads information. Only when you are truly humble and humbled by your environment. This isn't about humiliation, right? This isn't about like self-shaming. This isn't about, flogging, like self-flogging, This is about realizing, you know what? I'm in a place of perceived lack. So where can I find abundance? Okay? Maybe I don't have bars and bars of gold, but I've got a little gold pot. All right, I'm taking my own advice here, guys. Alice in Wonderland. I give myself very good advice, but I very seldom follow it. Follow your own advice, because you already know your advice. And you could probably look around you and see all these people. People probably come to you for this information, and you're like, yeah, I know exactly what all of you could do. I can see where you're abundant. I just posted on Instagram. You are at this very moment, you are living somebody's dream. Maybe it's not. your perceived dream, but remember that you are exactly where you put yourself. You're exactly where you wanted to be in the 5D. In the 3D, you're struggling because that's the way it goes. But that's what karma is about. That's what Libran energy is about. That's what justice and the spiritual balance is. It's balancing that 5D, that 3D. And then we can come into the 4D, which is the magician. It's the alchemy. It's bringing the two together. It's also the Hierophant, which is that marriage. And it is a spiritualist. It's a spiritual leader. It's a spiritual guru. All right. It is somebody that people come to for this information. But those are usually the ones that are so depleted because they keep giving this information and they don't sit with themselves long enough. And that isolation and solitude. Sometimes you have to be selfish and isolate yourself. So that you can sit with, what do you actually want? Like, Sarah and John should have been single. If they didn't want to be in those connections, they didn't need somebody else outside of them to tell them. Maybe it doesn't sound like you want to be with this person. It doesn't sound like you're happy in the job you're in, right? Maybe somebody around you is trying to tell you that. And if you are in a lack mindset, you're probably going to be resistant to that. You're going to be like, whoa, don't tell me what to do. Especially if you've got some of these fixed placements, especially Taurus. Don't tell a Taurus what to do. But Taurus, you are the throat chakra as well. You are the Hierophant. You are the spiritual leader. Take your own advice, right? Whether you have Taurus placements or not, if you can resonate with that, if you're like, yep, don't tell me what to do. Because if you came from a place of lack, true lack as a child, you are very hyper independent and hyper vigilant. You are somebody who is used to chaos. You no longer, my loves, you don't need to live in chaos anymore. Stop creating chaos. Stop creating lack so that you can feel like you're just surviving, but that you're never going to thrive in that place. I got to listen to that too. Because yeah, this is also like getting your budget ahead of time, instead of like spending money on dumb shit, save it up. Yes, in the moment it probably feels better, but long term you're setting yourself up for not seeing that gas tank on E. All right. So what is your love language, collective? Do you know what your love language is? Do you know what that means? If not, go look it up, find out, put it in the comments below. What's your love language? When you know how you receive love, how you give love, then you'll know when you're interacting with somebody, if this is somebody who is going to help you keep your love tank full. First and foremost, you have to know, like, maybe you're like buying things, right, to fill this void, but your love language isn't gift giving. So why are you giving yourself gifts if that's not your love language, right? Maybe your primary love language is quality time. So you need to spend some quality time with yourself. And that does not look like doom scrolling. Okay? That looks like maybe journaling. All right? Maybe sitting out in nature. Spending time with your true self. Having a conversation with yourself. All right? That is quality time. Maybe your love language is acts of service. Okay? That goes back to the spa day. Maybe you need to just kind of like rub your own feet. Give yourself a pedicure. Give yourself a Dollar Tree nail job, or like, do something with your hair, or maybe get like a new something. Okay? And that could be, again, maybe somebody's love language is, gift giving. And if you don't know, or if you're like, I just really don't know when I'm looking at these love languages, like maybe you're all of them. So you can buy yourself a gift. You can give yourself an act of service. You can spend some quality time listening to some music or sitting in silence, having a conversation, and journal while you're soaking your feet in some Epsom salt you bought at the Dollar Tree. I'm just saying the Dollar Tree because that's like, there's actually some pretty cool stuff there. Like, you can do a lot with very little. All right. And if you're someone who's used to being resourceful, you had to be very resourceful in a place of lack growing up, you can still do that and create a space of abundance. All right. Words of affirmation. That's very important. And I feel like everybody, when you're trying to alchemize, like somebody's voice is quivering. Somewhere in this reading, somebody was like, oh, ugh, you feel that like apple in the throat. Okay. And what's the other one? Acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, gift giving, and damn, what's the other one? Oh, physical touch. Now that's a tough one. Hug yourself. Maybe, hug yourself. Okay. Also, massage your feet, right? I always advocate for that because I got like a foot health fetish. Okay. Like, let your toes open up. Get those toe spacers. Like, go stand barefoot in the ground and stop shoving your toes into these fucking shoes. I hate them. They're awful. They need to be like, we need to be free. We need to be like, and this is going to give you balance too. Let your roots, you're feeling root bound, you're feeling lack, you're feeling like this, open up, let yourself open up. And that starts with the feet, from the ground to the crown and back again. From the ground to the crown and back again. Ooh, I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a little jam. So words of affirmation. I am statements. I am abundant. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am loved. I am surrounded by opportunities. The universe blesses me. The universe is not on a budget, okay? So whatever it is, whatever you feel like this resistance to, dive into that and expand on it. Make some room there. And yeah, touch yourself. All right. You can also alchemize through self-pleasure. Okay. But if you don't know about that, do a little bit of research on that and figure that out before you just are all willy-nilly out there, because you have to be careful what you're alchemizing as you self-pleasure, because if anybody comes in there, you may receive some past energy that comes in and they're like, hey, and you're like, oh, it's faded because I thought of you when I was touching myself. No. You are just an alchemist. You are a magician, and you have to be very cautious and intentional with what you're doing with your energy. Okay, so that's the channel messages, story time, tarot, and the advice. Hopefully there was something in here for you. If you like these readings, if you like this style, if anything that I'm saying resonates, if you want to help support this space, everything you need to know is in the description box below. And for those of you who have been contributing in whatever way you can, like there are plenty of ways to support this space that are free, that like helping get this space to 1,000 subscribers is going to help facilitate part of my dream, which is to get to where I can do live readings, right? Because then it's more connected, it's more in the moment, and I like that. I prefer doing in-person readings, but this is the platform that I'm working with, right? So help me help you, help us help the collective, okay? Or don't, free will. Either way, I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate your time, your energy, all of your contributions. They are very much appreciated. I'm extremely grateful for them. And until next time, I wish you well.